All right, so we are gonna start on our back. I want you to start by rolling your shoulders, so bringing your fingertips towards your toes. Your legs are extended out in front of you. Good, so we're rolling our shoulders down the back, getting those shoulders out of our ears. And I want you to tuck your pelvis under, so I want your low back to be on the floor. Maybe your belly's a little bit engaged here in order to do that. Good. And walk your feet about hip distance apart. Maybe walk your heels out a little bit further from your body so that you can find a little bit of space in the top of your hip joint here. Good. And I want you to place your right hand on your belly and your left hand on your heart. Close your eyes. And we're going to start the morning by beginning with some deep breathing exercises. Okay. So in the next inhale, we're going to breathe in through our belly, so I want you to feel your right hand rise. Good, and exhale audibly. Next inhale with the belly rise, and I want you to fill the space behind your heart as well. So filling it through the lungs, feeling the left hand rise. And big exhale. Good. And on the exhale, I want you to see if you can relax into the ground and make yourself really, really heavy here. Okay, feeling fully supported by the ground. Anywhere that you find is holding tension or you're trying to hold yourself up, see if you can just melt that down a little bit more. Next inhale, right hand rises with the belly, left hand with the heart. And I want you to fill the space behind your throat as well. Good. So at this point you can take maybe no more air in, but I want you to try and take one last sip. Good. Feeling the space between your ribs expand in your lungs here. And exhale. Good. And now that we've opened up our lungs, I want you to do 6 rounds of breath on your own time, or you can follow me, starting with an inhale. Let's see if we can do 4 seconds on the inhale. Big breath. Good. Inhaling in, filling up the back body so you feel the back of your rib cage pressing into the ground as you inhale. And exhale, melt. 2 more breaths here. Good, and on this last inhale, I want you to see if you can breathe as much energy into your body as you can. And on the exhale, we're going to exhale any tension, any last bits of tension that we're holding in our shoulders and our hips, in our rib cage, in our minds. Last inhale, energy in. And exhale, tension. Good. You can release the hands down beside you. You're going to tuck both knees into your chest and give yourself a hug here. So you can grab hold of opposite hands. If it's available for you, grab opposite elbows, keeping the head on the floor. If you've got tight hips, maybe you just bring your hands to your knees here. Okay. We're going to start rocking side to side. Give yourself a little back massage here. Good. And extending the left leg out, we're going to hug the right knee into the chest here. Good. So applying a little bit of pressure, and in yoga, we're not doing any twerking, pulling movements. We're just gently applying a little bit of pressure, maybe letting gravity do some of the work here. Good. So we're pulling this knee down toward the floor underneath your armpit. And then the next inhale, we're going to take our left hand to right knee, extending the right fingertips out toward the side, and rotate the right knee to the left hand side, giving ourselves a gentle spinal twist. Gaze comes over the right fingertips here. Remembering the breath from the beginning, and see if we can carry that all the way through class. So deep breath in. Good. And audible out. Good. Every time you inhale, I want you to see if you can grab some length in the spine here. And on the exhale, see if you can drop that knee a little bit closer to the floor. And on the next inhale, bringing the knee back to the center, hugging it one more time toward the chest. Good, and switching sides here. So extending the right leg down toward the end of your mat, bringing the left knee toward your chest. Applying just a little bit of pressure to see if we can get that knee to fall down to the floor behind your armpit here. And rotating the left knee to the right side of the room, extending the left fingertips out toward the side, and gaze will follow the left. Good. Inhale, find a little bit of space in your spine. Exhale, see if you can drop that knee down a little bit more. Good. Last inhale. Exhale, let go of that knee. And on the inhale, bringing that left knee right back to center. Good. Once again, hugging both knees into your chest and rock onto your side, eventually making your way into a tabletop position. And you can find your way here slowly. Eventually bringing the wrists underneath the shoulders. Knees are going to be underneath the hips, and I want you to tuck your toes here. Good. And see if you can get a little bit of stretch happening in the arch of your foot here. Good. So pressing the toes into the mat. Good. Take a big inhale here. And exhale, sit your bum back, still keeping your toes tucked. So we're in a variation of child's pose here with a tucked toe. And I just want you to find some space in the arch of your feet, maybe in your ankle joints here. Dropping the head right down to the mat. Okay, coming back up onto all fours. Big inhale. And exhale, sitting the hips back one more time. See if you can find a little bit more space in that toe joint. Good. Inhale, coming forward onto all fours and pressing into the feet, coming down into your first downward facing dog of the day. Good. So shoulders are tucked into your back pockets, biceps are spinned toward the front of the room, fingers are spread out wide on your mat here. Standing up high on your toes to start, and I want you to push your tailbone toward the sky. Good. Once your hips are in position, I want you to drop those heels down toward the mat, keeping the tilt of your pelvis toward the sky here. Good. Pushing your rib cage down toward the mat, but I want you to see if you can close your bottom ribs and firm up the belly here. So keeping this downward dog as an active posture. Good. On the next inhale, we're going to come forward into plank. Good. And I want you to bring your right knee to your right elbow. Good. Bringing the right leg back, left knee to left elbow. Good. Adding in a little bit of core work here. Bringing it back, right knee. Good. Keeping those shoulders back, biceps toward the front of the room, and left knee. For 3, 2, 1. Last one each side. Good, and left knee. Good, stepping back into your plank. Slowly lowering, you can start by lowering through your knees. Bring your chest and your chin to the ground. Exhale, untuck everything, relax down. And on the inhale, I want you to press your hands into the mat. Hands should be right underneath your shoulders here. Good, and again, we're not torquing, we're just gently pushing here. Okay, applying a little bit of pressure. I want you to zip the legs up. Good, squeeze the bum and look up toward the sky for baby cobra. Good, lifting through your heart, keeping your shoulders back. Good, and exhale, tucking the toes, pushing back into downward facing dog. And we're gonna do that one more time. So finding your space in your calves and your ankles, in your toes in this downward facing dog. Maybe a little bit more space in your hamstrings. Remembering to tuck those shoulders back to protect the shoulder girdle. Good. Inhale, come forward into plank. Again, we're gonna exhale, bringing the knee, right knee to right elbow. And extend out. Exhale, left knee, left elbow. Good, inhale, 2 more each side. Good. Right knee. And left knee. Good, 1 more each side, right knee. Good, and left knee comes forward. Pushing back into your plank, slowly lower. This time you can go with or without the knees. Good, exhale, relaxing down. Inhale, pressing into the mat, coming up into baby cobra. Good. And exhale, tucking the toes, pushing back into downward facing dog. Good. Bending the knees, I want you to look between your hands and step or jump forward. Good, coming into our forward fold here, grabbing opposite elbows and just giving yourself a little bit of a counter stretch to that baby cobra. Good, so I want you to make your head heavy. Shake your head no, maybe nod your head yes. Find any tension that's happening in the neck. Rolling forward onto the toes. Find a stretch between your hamstrings and your bum. See if you can get a little bit more movement happening there. Good. Release the hands. Big inhale, fingertips toward the sky. And bringing your palms down to heart center. Good. And release them down. Beginning class with sun salutations. Inhale, reaching the palms up overhead. And exhale, palms down to heart center. When you're standing here, I want you to imagine that there is space between your ribs and your pelvis, but I want you to tuck your tailbone, keeping your core tight, and close your bottom ribs here. Good, reaching up toward the sky, and palms down toward the mat. Good. Inhale, hands on your shins or your thighs, halfway lift, shoulders are back, crown of the head toward the front of the room, belly is firm here, and exhale, palms come down toward the mat. Good. Inhale, right leg steps back. Hands are on the mat here. Pelvis down toward the ground. Lifting through the chest, looking toward the sky. Good. Left leg steps back. Inhale, knees, chest, chin to the mat. And exhale, release it down. Inhale, this time we're coming into full cobra. So arms come straight. Hands are underneath the shoulders. We're squeezing the bum, firming the belly, and zipping up the legs to protect that low back. Shoulders come down, looking toward the sky. Good. Exhale, coming back into downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg steps forward, dropping through the hips. Hands are on the mat, looking toward the sky. Chest is lifted. And left leg steps forward. Inhale, reaching up overhead, fingertips come a little bit behind you for a tiny back bend. Squeeze your bum, protect that back. And exhale, palms come down to heart center. And release. Inhale, reaching up toward the sky. And exhale, palms come down to heart center. Inhale, tiny back bend. Bring your thumbs behind your head here, squeezing your bum. And exhale, palms come down toward the mat. Good. Inhale, halfway lift. Shoulders are back here, belly is firm. And exhale, fully fold. Inhale, left leg steps back, looking up toward the sky. Good. Exhale, right leg steps back. Inhale, this time you can slowly lower or you can go through your knees to a hover. Exhale and tuck the toes. Inhale, upward facing dog. So this is full cobra, but with your thighs firm and off of the mat here. Belly is firm to protect that low back, bum is squeezed. Exhale, untuck the toes, hips come back behind you. Downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg steps forward. Good. Exhale, right leg steps forward. Inhale, reaching up overhead, fingertips behind you. And exhale, palms come down to heart center. And release. We're gonna speed it up a little bit more this time. Inhale, reaching up overhead. Exhale, palms come down to heart center. Inhale, tiny back bend, fingertips behind you. And exhale, palms come down toward the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fully fold. Inhale, right leg steps back. Exhale, left leg steps back. Inhale, slowly lower. And exhale, untuck your toes. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg steps forward. And exhale, left leg steps forward. Inhale, reaching up overhead. And exhale, palms come down to heart center. And release. Inhale, reaching up overhead. Exhale, palms come down to heart center. Inhale, squeeze your bum, tiny back bend. And exhale, palms come down toward the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fully fold. Inhale, left leg steps back. Exhale, right leg steps back. Inhale, slowly lower. Exhale and tuck your toes. Inhale to upward facing dog. Tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Good. Inhale, left leg steps forward. Exhale, right leg steps forward. Inhale, reaching up overhead. And exhale, palms come down to heart center. Good, and release. Bringing the feet mat wide, mat distance between your feet, sorry. And inhale, palms come reaching up overhead. Good. Exhale, sitting down into your chair. So we're dropping the bum here, lifting through the chest, but closing the bottom ribs. Good, and reaching palms toward the sky. Knees don't knock in fact, they go out over your toes. Good, and inhale, fully standing up. Good, exhale, sitting down into your chair. Palms come down to heart center. And we're tucking the left elbow over the right knee. So we're rotating through the heart toward the left side, right side of the room. And we're tucking here. So from the side, or from the front, it looks like this. Good. Inhale, maybe we open up the hands. Good, gaze is on the left or right fingertips. Good, bringing all of the weight into your right foot. I want you to bring the left foot back into a long lunge. Good. come back to center here. Good, on the next inhale, I want you to reach your hands up overhead. Good. Coming high on the left toes and deep into that front right knee. Good. Dropping the left heel back, opening up into warrior two. Good. So the outside of the left foot is parallel with the left side of your mat. Good. Right knee comes out over the right toes, but I want you to be able to see that big toe on the inside of the knee. Roll your shoulders down and back. Tuck your pelvis. Good. Gaze is over your right fingertips. Reaching through the right fingertips, I want you to open up the palms toward the front of the room. Bringing right fingertips to right toes for awkward side angle. Opening through the heart, I want you to bring your right shoulder forward and your left shoulder back. Gaze is over your left thumb here. Good. For a little bit of added stretch, you can reach the left fingertips over to the front of the room. If it feels comfortable for you, you can actually lean this right elbow on the right knee, or you can bring fingertips to toes. Alternatively, if you do have a block at home, you can use a block here as well. I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, so you can be here, you can be here, or you can be here. Good. Windmill the hands down toward the inside of the right foot. I want you to heel toe that right foot to the outside of the mat, spinning the right or the left foot up so you're back on those toes. Now you're in a long lunge here. Okay. Dropping the left knee down, I want you to find a comfortable position that you can hang out in for a little while here. Okay, so the right leg is wide on your mat, so probably on the outside of your mat. Okay. You might be on your hands here, so wrist should be underneath your shoulders. Untuck those left toes. Good, and I want you to exhale your pelvis close to the mat here. Good. Maybe you come down onto your elbows if it's available for you today. Good. Maybe again, if you have a block, your elbows come down onto the block. So we're not forcing any movement here. We want to find a spot that is giving us a bit of tension release, but no pain. A little bit of discomfort, but anything that's pinching or painful, we want to come right out of that. Good. On the inhale, I want you to bring some space into all of your hip joints here. Into that left hip flexor, into the right glute. And on the exhale, I want you to sink a little bit deeper into that posture. So rather than thinking about holding really still, I want you to think about being really heavy. Okay, maybe you come out onto the knife edge of that right foot. Good, remembering the breath from the beginning of class, we're filling up through the ribs. And as we exhale, we just melt a little bit heavier into the mat, into our mat. Good. If you're on your elbows here, I want you to come back to your hands. Placing the left hand between right into the center here, so right under your sternum, and taking your right hand and gently applying a little bit of pressure to the outside right knee here. Maybe you bring your right fingertips toward the sky for a twist here. Maybe you let your right hand come to the low back and you just lead with your heart here. Big inhale. And exhale, become heavy into that mat. Gaze is over your right shoulder or at your right fingertips if you're here. One more breath here. Bring both hands underneath your shoulders here. And slowly bringing the right foot back onto its bottom here. Heel toe the right foot to the center. Tucking the left toes here. Good. I want you to step back into your plank. Good. Exhale, slowly lower. Good. Inhale into cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, sending the hips back into downward facing dog. Good, and just release here. We're going to stay here for 3 breaths. Good, noticing the difference in tension in both of your hips. Maybe one feels a little bit more tight than the other now. Good, tucking your shoulders into your back pockets and spinning your biceps to the front of the room. We're protecting that shoulder girdle always. Lifting through the hips. Good, bending the knees, looking between the hands, and step or hop forward. Fully fold. Inhale, reaching the palms up overhead and coming down to heart center. And then release. Stepping the feet hip distance apart here. We're finding our chair pose once more. So inhale, palms come up toward the sky. Good, and exhale, sitting down into that chair. Good. Inhale, standing up. Good, exhale, sitting down deeper into that chair, closing those bottom ribs, firming the belly. Good, palms come down to heart center. Good, rotating your heart toward the left side of the room this time. We're gonna tuck our right elbow over the left knee for a twist here. Good, maybe we open up our heart toward the side. Maybe we keep our hands in heart center, whichever feels more comfortable. Good, putting all of the weight into your right leg here. We're gonna step the left leg back. Good. Coming high on those right toes and bending deep into that left knee, bringing hands back to heart center. Good, feeling this twist on the next inhale. We're gonna reach our palms up overhead for a crescent lunge. Good, so we're high on the back toes here, bending deep into that front leg. And we're not letting that front knee go way over our heel here. Okay, firming that back thigh, squeezing the thighs together to square the hips toward the front of the room. And we're gonna drop that back heel down, bringing the right knife edge of the foot parallel with the back of your mat. I'm gonna flip around so you guys can see me. Good, so pressing equally into both feet here. I want your center of balance to be right in the middle, so we're not driving forward or pushing back. And I want you to imagine that you're pressing your feet away from one another, so creating tension in their glutes here. Gaze is over the left fingertips. Rolling your shoulders down and back, tuck your pelvis, close those bottom ribs, bending deep into your left knee here for warrior 2. Reaching your left fingertips toward the front of the room, opening up your palms toward the front here. Again, bringing left fingertips to left toes, right fingertips toward the sky. And again, a couple of options here. Maybe you have a block at home that you can use. Maybe you want to hang out with your elbow on your knee, just don't put too much pressure there. all of the pressure I would like to be in your feet. Good, and maybe fingertips are down to the toes here. Good, for a little extra stretch, you can reach those right fingertips toward the front of the room, bringing your left shoulder forward, right shoulder back, opening up your heart. Good. Good, on the inhale, lengthen, and exhale, deepen into that stretch. Good, windmilling the hands to the inside of that front foot and spinning the back foot to the front of the room here, coming up high on the toes. Good, we're in a low lunge here. Good, drop that right knee, untuck your toes, and heel toe the left foot toward the outside of your mat. Good. You might notice that one side feels a little bit tighter or more flexible than the other, and that's okay. We're bringing our wrists underneath our shoulders here. Maybe you have a block and you want to come down onto your elbows. If it's available for you today. Maybe you stay up on your hands if that feels more comfortable. We're going to stay here for 6 breaths. So on the inhale, I want you to see if you can breathe a little bit more space into your hip joints, into the front of that right hip. Good, and into the glute of the left side. On the exhale, I want you to become a little bit heavier. See if you can fall a little bit deeper into that mat. Good, noticing where your body's carrying tension. Is it in your shoulders? Maybe softening the space between your eyebrows. Good, relaxing your jaw. And maybe coming onto the knife edge of that left foot. Good. Taking away the block if there's one there, coming up onto your hands and bringing the right hand underneath your sternum. And using the left hand to apply gentle pressure to the left knee and rotating your heart toward the left side of the room. Good. If you have it in your practice today, maybe you reach the left fingertips toward the sky, gaze should follow. Good, if it feels more comfortable for you or you have any shoulder issues, bring that left hand toward the low back here, opening up your heart toward the sky. Good, inhale, lengthen, and exhale so you can sink a little bit deeper into that hip. Good, inhale, reaching the fingertips toward the sky if you're on the low back, and bringing both hands underneath your shoulders here. Slowly coming out of that posture, so bringing the left foot onto the ground and heel toe right to center. Tucking the right toes underneath and coming back into that lunge. Good. Bringing the left leg to the back of the room here for plank. And slowly lowering down to a hover, untuck the toes, coming into our upward facing dog or cobra here. Good, tucking the toes under, exhale to downward facing dog. We're gonna stay here for 6 breaths. So your downward facing dog is your resting posture, but if you're finding it tough on the shoulders at any time, you can drop to the knees, sit your bum back, and find child's pose here. Okay? Letting the heart rate come down. Big inhale, tucking the shoulders into your back pockets, spinning your biceps to the front of the room, spreading the fingertips. And exhale, coming deeper into that posture. Letting the head hang heavy. Firming the belly. Good, inhale, looking between the hands, hopper step forward. Fully fold here. Inhale, reaching the palms up overhead. And exhale, palms come down to heart center. Good, standing at the top of your mat in mountain pose, so feet are together, toes come to touch. Good, closing those bottom ribs, rolling your shoulders back and down, belly is firm. And I want you to reach your hands up overhead and clasp all 10 fingers, just releasing your pointer fingers. I know you can't see what they look like, but there you go. Good. Coming up high onto your toes now, we're going to practice balancing. Good, so on the next inhale, staying on your toes, I want you to bring your fingertips toward the right side of the room. Good, staying high on those toes. I know it's tricky. Building some strength in your feet. See if you come down a little bit more. So inhale, lengthen, exhale. Fingertips come down toward the right. Inhale, change, dropping down, give your toes a break. Inhale, coming up high onto the toes, once more. Good, and exhale, dropping down toward the left side of the room this time. Good, bringing the left shoulder forward, right shoulder back, opening up the heart toward the front of the room, high on the toes here. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale, come down a little bit further. And inhale, change, drop your hands down, give your shoulders a roll. We're gonna do that one more time. Inhale, reaching up overhead, clasping all 10 fingertips. Good. Coming up high on the toes, practicing strengthening through the toes, through the arches of the feet, through the calves, through the ankles. Good. Lifting your thighs up behind your knees, squeezing your bum. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, dropping down toward the right. Well done. Bringing that right shoulder forward, left shoulder back, opening your heart to the front of the room. Coming up high, high on the toes. If you wobble, that's okay. Inhale a little bit higher. And exhale, down. Good, and change, dropping down, give your toes a break, drop those arms down, reaching up overhead, clasping all 10 fingers. Last one, coming up high on the toes. Inhale a little bit higher, lifting through the thighs, squeezing your bum, close those bottom ribs, and exhale, dropping down toward the left. Good, inhale, lengthen and come higher. Exhale, drop it down. Good, and change, coming out of that posture. Give your arms a shake, maybe grab some water. Good, give me 2 seconds here. I need a cloth here. All right, good stuff. So standing up at the top of your mat, feet are hip distance apart. Good, palms come down beside you. I'm gonna show you this one from the side. We've done it from the front here. I'll do one from the side and one from the front. Good, reaching the palms up overhead. I want you to drop the left fingertips down beside you. Good. Rounding into the right foot here. We're gonna grab hold of the left foot, so right hand, or left hand, wow. Left hand to left foot. You guys love doing yoga with me when I don't know my rights and lefts. Good. Standing nice and tall, we're going to kick the left foot into the left hand and reach the right hands toward the front of the room here. Good, coming into dancer's pose. So I want you to bring that left foot high over the top of your head and reach. So kicking and reaching and kicking and reaching to find your balance. Good. Lifting through the right thigh here, squeezing the right glutes. Come up a little bit higher. Come down and push. Don't forget to breathe. Come down and push. Good, and change coming out of that posture. Releasing both hands down, give your shoulders a roll. Good, this one from the front here. Reaching the palms up overhead, dropping the right fingertips down toward the toes here. Good. Grounding into that left foot, lifting the left thigh, and grabbing hold of the right toes. Good. Closing those bottom ribs, keeping your core tight. I want you to reach forward with the left fingertips while simultaneously kicking into your right hand here with your foot. Good, so from the front, you want to see that right foot come over your head. Good, simultaneously kicking and pushing and kicking and reaching. Inhale, exhale, come up a little bit more, come down and push. Come down and push. Come down and push and change. Releasing both hands to the mat, give your shoulders a roll. Good, and finding your way to a seated position. That concludes our standing series. Good. So we are going to extend our legs right out in front of us here. Get your fleshy parts of your bum out of the way. And reach up high with the fingertips, creating as much length in the spine as you can. I want you to firm your belly here. Roll your shoulders down into your back pockets. Good, and extend the fingertips forward. So if that means that you can touch your toes here, please do so. If that means that you're grabbing hold of your shins, that's okay too. If it means that your hands are just down beside your thighs, that's also okay. Okay, what I'm looking for is as much length as possible in your upper body here. Okay, so I want you to try and bring your heart toward your toes. That's what we're going for. Good. Again, moving the fleshy parts of your bum out of the way, so your sit bones should be right on the floor. On the inhale, I want you to lengthen through your torso. And on the exhale, I want you to bring your heart toward your toes. Good, inhale, lengthen. And exhale, come down. We'll do one more like that. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, come down before releasing the nose down toward the toes. Good. See if you can find a little bit more space between your hamstring and your glutes here. And we're not pulling on the toes if we're there. We're just using them for a little bit of support here. So if you're here, I just want you to reach forward with that heart toward the toes. Nose comes toward your knees. Good. Inhale to lengthen. And exhale, fully release. Good. Tucking your chin into your chest here. This pose is great for the central nervous system. When I did my yoga teacher training, I learned that this posture is really great for when you get into an argument. When emotions are high, tension is high, bring your knees toward your nose and your nose toward your knees. It'll end the argument. And I'm not sure if that's because it calms your central nervous system or because it's a really weird thing to do in the middle of an argument. But either way, it works. Inhale, lengthen one more time. And exhale, release. Good. Next, inhale, walking your fingertips to the outsides of your thighs. Give your hips a little shake. Let go of any tension. Maybe bend your knees. Good. Bringing the right foot to the inside of the left thigh. Good. We're going to do the same thing. Reaching the palms up overhead, fingertips toward the sky, closing those bottom ribs, rolling the shoulders back. Good. And bring your heart toward your toes. Good. Inhale to lengthen and exhale, come a little bit closer. Good. And again, if you can't touch your toes, I just want your hands on either side of your shin. Or you can place your hands behind you if it feels better. Okay, whatever feels the most comfortable for you. Inhale to lengthen and exhale, release it down. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale, release. One more inhale, and exhale, drop your nose toward your knee. Good, tucking the chin to the chest. See if you can find some space between the back of your hamstring, the top of your hamstring, and the bottom of your bum. And we need to work on breathing into that area, or any areas that you feel extra tension. Inhale to lengthen and exhale, come down a little bit more. Good, bringing the hands to either side of that leg and slowly walk up. Good, switching sides here. So extending the right leg, give yourself a shake. Good, bringing the sole of the left foot to the inside of the right thigh, reaching the palms up overhead. Good, and grabbing hold of toes or fingertips come to shins or fingertips come behind you, whichever is your comfortable position here. Again, we're not pulling on the foot. We're using gravity and our breath to bring our nose and our heart closer to our toes here. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale, come down a little bit more. Remembering that breath that we started in the beginning of class. Breathing deep into the belly, finding space between our ribs. Expanding through the back and exhaling, letting it all go and sinking deeper into this posture. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, heart comes toward your toes. Nose comes toward your knee. And relax into this posture. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, release. Releasing the hands down to either side of that right leg, walking the fingertips toward a seated position. Good. I'm going to bring both soles of the feet together here. Bringing fingertips behind you so your thumbs are touching. Okay, and I want you to lift your heart toward the sky here. So we're going to counter all those forward folds with a tiny back bend here. So lifting your heart, dropping the crown of your head down toward the mat, lifting your chin toward the sky, pushing into your hands. Okay, and letting those shoulders come down your back instead of in your ears. Good, lifting through the chest. Pressing into the hands. Good. Inhale, lift your chest even more. Exhale, come down a little bit further with the head. Last one, inhale, lifting through the heart. And exhale, dropping the neck back down. Good. Inhale, slowly come out of that posture. Good. Grabbing hold of your toes here. We're going to do a quick butterfly posture. So we're going to do something, and I can't pronounce it very well, but it's called Barahaska breathing. If you guys know how to say that properly, I apologize. Okay. So we are going to pump the knees like a butterfly while simultaneously exhaling, and we're going to do 2 sets of 20. Okay, so on the exhale, it's a forceful exhale. It looks like, okay, and as you exhale, I want you to really feel your tummy coming in, okay? So you're feeling your abs contract on every exhale, okay? So for 20, ready? Good. Big inhale. And let it go. So the forceful exhale is followed by a sharp inhale that happens automatically as your belly expands, okay? We're gonna give ourselves a little bit more time to recover here. This is energetic breathing. Helps us to start our day full of energy. Exhales all of the stale breath that we might be hanging around in our lungs. Ready? 20 more. And good, release that out. Hopefully you're feeling energized. Good, extending your feet in front of you, finding your way onto the back of your mat here. Good, finding your Shavasana. So that can look like legs extended in front of you. It can look like legs extended wide if you want to take up some space. Okay, tucking the pelvis underneath. Walking your fingertips toward your toes, or maybe you open up like a starfish. Maybe it feels good for you to grab opposite elbows over your head. Good. So whatever expression of Shavasana for you works, I invite you to take that. And remembering our deep belly breath, I'm going to take one more in. And exhale, let it all go. Relaxing into the mat. I want you to find some heaviness in the back of your head. Good. Maybe lick your lips, allow them to part slightly. Close your eyes. Release any tension between your 2 eyebrows. Good. Releasing tension right in front of your ears and your cheekbones. Allowing your jaw to relax, unclench. Good. Maybe walking your fingertips towards your heels and getting those shoulders out of your ears. Good. Maybe walking the heels a little bit further away from your body, allowing some space between your hip socket and the top of your femur. Letting your rib cage fall heavy into your mat. Feel like you're melting into your mat. Good. Feel your pelvis being fully supported by the ground underneath you. Your shoulders, let them drop. Good. Feel some weight in the backs of your thighs. In your knuckles as your hands fall open, palms toward the sky. Good. Feel the backs of your calves being fully supported by the ground underneath you. Your heels as your feet fall open. Finding a place of absolute rest in your body. And when your body feels fully supported, it can start to work on the mind as well. Being mindful that this is time that you've carved out of your day specifically for yourself. So you don't need to be thinking about anybody else right now. We don't need to be thinking about work or what we have to do today or what we're going to make for dinner or for breakfast. For the next few minutes, maybe we don't think about anything at all. Maybe we notice thoughts coming through our mind, but we allow them to pass, just like clouds in the sky. Suspended in air, right above our heads, but not penetrating our thoughts just yet. Maybe we acknowledge those thoughts. We tip our hats, and we continue on our way. And the act of mindfulness and meditation isn't about clearing our minds as we often are taught. It's about the absence of judgment or opinion about our thoughts. We're aware that they're there. And we exist alongside them for a few moments. Allowing the breath to flow in and out of the nostrils naturally. Maybe go in through your nose and out through your mouth if that feels more comfortable to you. And notice how the breath feels on the inside of the nose. Notice it passing through your nose hairs. Does it have a taste as it comes out through your mouth, along your tongue? What does the air feel like on your skin? Noticing sensations around you. Sounds and smells. The feeling of your carpet maybe, or your floor. And as we finish class, begin to wiggle your toes and your fingers. Good. Maybe you bend your knees and your elbows. Eventually hugging the knees into the chest here. Good. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Rolling over onto your side here. And pushing up eventually into a seated position. Thank you, Wednesday yogis, for joining me in class. I hope you have a great rest of your week. Namaste.